Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Cabinet. The meeting of the 9th of November. Ding dong, have we got somebody joining us? This is, of course, the first meeting of a new government. On Wednesday, the 12th of October, which was the last meeting, the Prime Minister was Liz Truss. So I suppose we should note the 5th Secretary of State for Education in 6 weeks. But nevertheless, let's get into the main agenda. Apologies for absence. I've got Councillor Mahfouz. Don't believe there are any others. Urgent matters to be considered in private, as always. I don't believe there are actually this time. Declarations of interest. There are none. Minutes of the previous meeting. I direct members to the minutes. Are they agreed? There are no appointments to subcommittees and outside bodies, so I will go first to Councillor Wall for the Golf Links Phase 4 and Master Plan.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. This is following our successful ballot of the residents in the Golf Links estate, where 82% voted overwhelmingly in favour of our regeneration plans there. And also the top-up ballot that the results are due to be announced shortly, and also our successful bid to the GLA for the Affordable Homes Programme 21 to 26, where we got 109.5 million, which will build over 1,000 genuinely affordable homes by 2026. This is a plan for Phase 4 of the Golf Links estate. This will deliver 223 new affordable homes. They'll be net zero carbon. They'll be sustainable, which will help our residents with fuel poverty. And it's part of our vision for the Golf Links estate to build a resilient estate and enable a green recovery from COVID-19. The report asks members to note the progress so far, and also to procure an architect-led design team to design and submit planning applications for Phase 4 and for the estate master plan. And that will be integrating the feedback from residents and other stakeholders. So I commend the report to Cabinet members.
Are there any questions or contributions? Once again, Ealing runs a ballot. We were the first council in London to run an estate ballot. We embraced them at the very start to ensure that we, of course, were always listening to residents who need investment in their homes, and that we put them at the heart of our design. And once again, Councillor Wall and officers to be congratulated for winning yet another estate ballot in Ealing. A solid investment that again will see a net increase in social homes available at social rents in the borough. So on that, I direct members to the recommendations in the report and ask that they are agreed. Agreed. Thank you very much. Item number 8, progress report on delivering the Race Equality Commission's demands. Councillor Raza.
So this report provides the Cabinet with an update of the work that's been delivered by the Council to advance the delivery of the Commission's demands that reported back to us in January. It's quite detailed, including all the appendices to explain the different parts that we have been working on. And it's got the priorities of the work being mainly sort in different areas which have overlap with my Cabinet colleagues here, and we've been working quite closely together to make sure that those demands have been attended to in this report. So it should be fairly self-explanatory.
Councillor Malcolm, I believe you have a question.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I've got questions on priority 1, the educational section, and priority 6 for housing. Just if that's of use in advance.
We'll take them together, yeah.
Yeah. So the first one that relates to schools, how is the approach that the council is taking in terms of monitoring, but also influencing? Because you've got state schools and quite a lot of sort of academies, and the approach there may be slightly more difficult with academies than state schools. So how is that sort of dynamic going to be played out? And then secondly, in terms of some of the demands for priority 6, the housing sort of section, I noticed there is due to be workshops in the interim report. Where is that report that's mentioned in demand 1? And also are you on track for the new council tenant engagement framework, which is due not too long, I think in December? And then lastly, are there any changes that are proposed from the feedback so far in the hubs for demand 3?
Okay, so Councillor Raz, do you want to take them? I mean, I'm sure other cabinet members might want to comment.
Yeah, well, other cabinet members obviously have overlap with some of this work, but I can answer your first question with regards to education. Simply that we have a learning partnership in Ealing, and that has buy-in from all sectors of education, so both state and private schools involved with that, and academies. So considering that most of the work that we've done already on race equality in education space has been done and led by this partnership, they will be obviously continuing to monitor and to make sure that they're met in that education space. In the housing space, I'm afraid it will need a bit more of a more in-depth answer to that one, and I might refer to Carol Sands, who's been helping us put that together.
Hi. Sorry. I think actually the right person is right behind me, Darren. We're passing the baton.
So can you just go through the questions again, Councillor? So there was the one about the workshops which have taken place. The report is in draft form. It will be shared in the appropriate formats when it's been through the process of going from draft to the final report. The second one, was it about the property licensing scheme?
About the tenant engagement work.
About the tenant engagement work. So tenant engagement framework, yes, again, that is in a draft format, and that will be brought back in line with the timescales which described by the end of December.
And the last one was about the hubs demand 3. What's the feedback gained so far, and is there any proposed changes to them?
So all of the housing hubs, so that there's a difference here between housing hubs, but also the community hubs. So I'm talking specifically about the housing hubs, which have been delivered across the borough, and indeed they are working effectively, and we're not proposing any particular changes to them at the moment.
Okay, any questions or contributions from members of the cabinet? So if I then on that basis can direct you to the recommendations in the report, and I would ask that they are agreed. Agreed. Item number 9, Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act 2000, repro update, Councillor Donnelly.
Thank you, Chair. Regular viewers will know that this item appears on an annual basis because we're required annually to report upon activities we may have carried out under the terms of the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act 2000 during the course of the previous year, to confirm the individuals in place in the appropriate roles under the policy, and to remind people of what our policy is. This paper to Cabinet, this report to Cabinet does all of those things, and I can confirm we've carried out no investigations under the terms of the Act in the course of the year covered.
Thank you very much, Councillor Donnelly. And I haven't received any requests to speak. So would anybody like to ask any questions, or indeed make any statements on the fact that we have not used our investigatory powers on anybody in the borough this year? Don't believe there are. So I'll direct Cabinet to the recommendations in the report and ask that they're agreed. Thank you very much. That concludes the business of this month's meeting. As I'm sure you'll have seen, it's been a light agenda this month, but December, according to the full plan, it will be a bumper agenda. So the only other thing to mention, of course, is that on Friday at 11 o'clock, members will be gathering on the steps of the town hall to mark Armistice Day. And of course, there'll be the marking of the Armistice equally on Sunday, the 13th, at various locations across the borough, both in Ealing, in Southall, and of course Greenford. So I'm sure I'll see many of you at those events. So thank you very much. And then the date of the next meeting is the 7th of December. See you then.